Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to the Midweek Report. I'm AJ Monte, Chief Technical Analyst with Sticky Trades. And as we are coming into the final minutes of the trading day today, just want to show you what's happening with DIA. As I zoom in here, you could see that we've hit my downside target there at 383.58, which was from the forecast last Friday. Now, what we're seeing here is a rally on the close. Very interesting to see that because this particular candle is showing a hammer candle right at that moving average. So if everything comes out well for NVIDIA and the earnings, I'll get to that in a minute, we could see a little bit of a bounce in the Dow towards the end of this week, but I'm not going long-term bullish. That short-term rally would be met with some pretty heavy resistance up here, and the diamond's at 388.73. So again, I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce, but not too big of a bounce on DIA. Now, if we look at IWM, here's another one that's hit the downside target. Same thing, although that's not a hammer, it's more of a spinning top, and that too has stopped right at the 20-period moving average. So I would think a little bit of a bounce is in order here for IWM as well. As we go on to the Qs, you could see here, while we are moving closer to my downside target down there on the Qs, right around 409.5, here too, as I magnify that, we have a hammer candle on lower volume. Remember, the drop in volume on the way down is more bullish than bearish. We are already in oversold territory here on the CCI, and we have somewhat of a divergence between the K and the D right there in the stochastic. So again, I'm leaning more to the upside, but again, a very slight rally. This former fan line is going to be a resistance area that matches very closely to that 20-period moving average. The big news, though, is that we are most definitely closing below that moving average. So we could have a little bit of a zigzag here forming, a little bit of a rally. And if using ABCD patterns, you could see a pivot from C to eventually what could be a lower D that brings us, again, closer to that target of 409.53. Now, as we're coming into the close, again, final 2 minutes here, let's go to SPY. You can see here my forecast target level was hit from last Friday right there at 493.99. Today's low was 493.56, so we overlapped that by some pennies there. Again, drop in volume on the way down as the moving average will most likely act as support. We have a little bit of a hinge on the CCI, which will tell me that we could see a little bit of a pop. There's a slight gap up here on SPY that would be filled right around 498.75, which could very well fill. And here's why. If you look at the VIX, we have a shooting star yesterday, which is bearish, followed by another shooting star today, which is bearish, and two gaps below the market. So I do think that the VIX is going to pull back with a good chance of filling this gap here. And there's the market closing right now, exactly at 4 o'clock as I'm recording this. So the gap below the market on the VIX, I mentioned this last week, is bullish for the S&P. And so this is going to be very, very interesting. Again, all eyes are going to be on NVIDIA. Here's the AI stock that's gotten the world's attention right now. It had a pretty bad day today, down quite a bit, almost 3%. But here it, again, stopped right at that moving average. And with earnings coming out any minute now, we'll probably see some action. Now, if you're looking at ways to forecast what the price action could be, what you do is you look at the options. For those of you who are option traders, go to the 2-day options here, and you're going to see the at-the-money straddle. This is how you figure out which way the market makers are betting. If you take the price of the at-the-money puts and add that premium to the cost of the in-the-money calls, you're talking about $60 there. There is a chance that NVIDIA could go up or down by 60. I know it sounds crazy. It's a coin flip, basically, but the option traders are betting on a big move. I would say it's going to be closer to a $40 move up or down. Of course, there could be some market manipulation there that might go counter what I'm suggesting. But if you look at some of the other tech stocks like Palo Alto and some of the other ones that are getting crushed like CrowdStrike and such, they're getting pounded by the institutions. And again, it's a coin toss here with NVIDIA. You know, we generally see some manipulation. You can see that we had a big print right on the close there, and they're already trying to push this one down in the after-hour trading session here. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Keep an eye on that. It will most definitely have an effect on the markets tomorrow. And with that, remember that we have the rapid fire stock analysis session. Just to give you a little sneak preview of what we did last week, we covered 28 star favorites. So in other words, we came up with 28 brand new star favorites and double star favorites. And as you can see here in blue, the blue highlights those targets that have already hit in less than 1 week. So this is how accurate our forecasting is for the rapid fire session. If you're interested in becoming part of that, just go to stickytrades.com. You could register with us for a 15-day trial, plug in, get a sample, get a taste for what we're doing. Action-packed hour from 6 to 7 tonight, and I'll talk to you then. So long.